What's up? I think you've heard the word discipline 1,000 times on TikTok, shorts, every motivational page you ever stumbled across at 2 a.m. when you could not sleep. Like discipline beats motivation, motivation is temporary, discipline is forever. With enough discipline you can conquer anything, and you know that along. Maybe you felt something. For a day or two you woke up early, skipped the scroll, did the work, and then slowly and quietly you drifted back. The old habits came back, the distraction came back, the version of you that was supposed to be disciplined disappeared, and you told yourself, I just don't have what it takes. But here's what nobody who posts those quotes ever actually tells you, is the fact that discipline is not something that you have, it's something that you train. And today I'm going to show you exactly how. Here is the root of the problem. Most people think of discipline like an object, like something you either possess or you don't. Like some people were born with it and some people were not. And if you're one of the one who wasn't, well, that's just who you are. That is completely wrong. Discipline is not an object, not a personality trait you're born with. Discipline is a skill, more specifically, it's a form of fitness. Think about this way. When you go to the gym, and what you're actually doing, you're applying stress to your muscles, you're breaking them down, recovering and coming back slightly stronger than before. Over weeks, months, the body changes, not because you find some magic heal, but because you showed up consistently and did the work. Mental fitness works exactly the same way. Your ability to control your mind, focus, to resist distractions, and to stay on the thing you're supposed to be doing when every part of you wants to drift. That is a muscle. Like any muscle, it's a trophy. A trophy is when you don't use it. It grows when you train it. And the reason you can stay disciplined is not because you're weak, it's because you haven't been training the right muscle. You've been consuming content about discipline instead of actually building it. And those are two very different things. So the first shift I need you to make before we get into anything else is this. Stop thinking about discipline as something you find. Start thinking of it as something you build every single day with specific practices consistently. And just like going to the gym, the results don't come overnight, but they come, and once they come, they compound. Let's talk about how. Alright, so the first exercise for your mental fitness, and yes, I'm calling it exercise deliberately, is meditation. And I know some of you just roll your eyes, but stay with me because I mentioned it in my previous video, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not perfect at it. I do about 8, 9, 10 minutes most days, and I know I need to push that further, but even at that level I can tell you exactly it has changed things for me, and noticeably. So let me explain what it actually is and what it actually does, and why is the single most direct training tool for the thing we're trying to build. And here's how you do it. You sit down on a chair, floor, wherever you're comfortable. You can even lie down if that's what works for you. You close your eyes and focus on one thing. It can be your breath, the feeling of air coming in and going out, or it can be a specific point in your body. The one I use is the space right between and slightly above the eyebrows, and what some people call the third eye. I build a mental image of that point and I lock my attention there. And then I breathe slowly and I hold that focus. Now here's what happens next, and this is the part that matters most. Your mind wanders. Within maybe 30 seconds, sometimes less, a thought will appear. Could be anything, something you said yesterday, a girl, who knows. And suddenly your focus has drifted away from the point without you even deciding to move it. And then you notice that when you catch yourself and bring your attention back to the point, that's a rep, literally a rep. Think about it. At the gym, a rep is you apply resistance, your muscle works against it, you complete the movement, one rep, do it enough times, and you get stronger. In meditation, the rep is your attention drifts, you notice, you pull it back to the point, one point. Do it one rep, do it enough times, and your ability to control your attention gets stronger. And this is not a metaphor, this is actually what is happening neurologically. And every time you redirect your focus, you are strengthening the neural pathways responsible for attention and impulse control. You're literally rewiring your brain slowly but consistently. And one thing I want to be clear about, the goal is not to never get distracted. The goal is to notice faster and return faster. In the beginning you might drift for 2 minutes before you catch it. With practice this, it might become 30 seconds, then 10, and almost immediately. That speed of return is the skill, and it transfers directly. When you're studying and your mind starts wandering to something irrelevant, you catch it faster. When you're having a conversation and your thoughts are drifting, you pull back faster. When you're about to reach for your phone out of habit, you notice the impulse before you act on it. That is attention control, and that is what you're building. Start with 5 minutes if that's all you can manage, then 8, 10, work forward 15. Do it in the morning before you touch your phone, before you check anything. Just you and your breath, and that point. It will feel pointless at first, that's fine. The gym felt it pointless the first week too. Okay, the second exercise, and I know you're going to react on this, is deep journaling. Yep, writing in journal. And your reaction was like, you're like, bro, am I gay? I haven't written in journal since I was 7. Bro, makes me write in journal. I get it, but here's the thing. You have two options right now. You either close this video and keep letting the noise in your head eat up your focus and your energy every single day, or you stay and hear me out and actually try something that works. If you're still here, good, let's continue. Here is the situation deep journaling solves. You know, that thing that happens when something is bothering you, someone treated you badly, a girl ghosted you when you wanted to take her out, a situation went wrong, a thought that keeps coming back no matter how many times you try to push it away, and you sit down to study or train, work, and you can't because that thing is running in the background constantly, eating your attention and pulling you back every few minutes. You're there physically, but your mind is somewhere else entirely. I talked about this in a previous video using a computer analogy that I think really captures it. Like, your brain has RAM, working memory, the mental space you use for acting, thinking right now, and when something is unresolved, it runs in that RAM. It takes up space that you need for everything else. Deep journaling moves it like RAM, and here's how you do it. You get a notebook or even just a blank piece of paper, and you start writing, not for anyone else, not for no one else. You don't have to write it correctly, don't have to write in full sentences, just make it sound good, or you don't have to do that. Nobody is going to read this. You just start something like, this happened to me today, and then you go everything, how it made you feel, what you wish had happened differently, what keeps you looping in your head, what you're angry about, what you're embarrassed about, all of it. You write until it's out. Could be 20 minutes, an hour, 5 pages, however long it takes. And at some point while you're writing, you'll notice something strange. Your hand can keep up with your brain, and the thoughts are coming faster than you can write them. And that's when you know it's working. That's when the thing that was stuck starts moving. And when you put the pen down, when you write the last word and close the notebook, something shifts. The weight doesn't disappear entirely, but it stops running in the background. It stops pulling at your attention every 5 minutes, and you can focus again. This is also a substitute for something people often underestimate. Talking to someone, having someone to process things with is valuable, but it's not always available. Maybe you're alone, maybe you don't want to seem like you're complaining to the people around you, maybe the person you talk to will make it about themselves. And the notebook is always there. It doesn't interrupt you, doesn't judge you, doesn't get distracted. And the process of converting emotion into language, of talking something that feels formless and heavy and turning it into actually words on a page, that is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mental clarity. Try it once when something is genuinely bothering you, just once, and you'll understand immediately why this is on the list. And now let's talk about sleep. Like, every serious athlete knows that training is only half the equation. Like, recovery is the other half, and most importantly, most important form of recovery for your body and for your mind is sleep. And this is not optional, not a lifestyle preference, it's biology. Now let me ask you something. What time do you go to sleep? Because I've heard a lot of people say that they get 8 hours. Mathematically correct, but physically wrong. Like, they sleep at 1 a.m. and they wake up at 9 a.m. and mathematically is correct, of course, but it's wrong, because here's why. You don't fall asleep the moment your head hits the pillow. For most people it takes anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to actually fall asleep. So if you're in bed at midnight, you're probably asleep closer to 12:30 a.m. and this is one of nobody talks about. This is the one nobody talks about. Every human being has something called sleep efficiency. It refers to the actual percentage of time you spend truly asleep versus just lying in bed. For most people, this is somewhere between 80% of 90% of sleep efficiency, which means even while you're in bed sleeping, a portion of that time is light, restless, or interrupted. So when you do the actual math, accounting for the time to fall asleep and your sleep efficiency, if you want 8 genuine hours of quality sleep and you need to be up at like 8 a.m., you should be in bed by 10 or 10:30 p.m., 11 p.m. at the absolute latest, not midnight, not 1 a.m. Now, why does this matter for mental fitness specifically? Because sleep is when your brain does its maintenance work. While you sleep, your brain clears out the metabolic waste that builds up during the day. It consolidates memories, like processes emotions, and critically restores your dopamine levels. I've talked about dopamine in previous videos. It's the neurotransmitter most directly linked to motivation, focus, and the ability to delay gratification. And when your dopamine is depleted through overstimulation, through bad sleep, kind of habits we're going to talk about in a moment, your ability to focus collapses, your impulse control weakens, and everything feels harder than it should. Sleep is the primary way your brain recovers that, which means every time you sacrifice sleep to scroll, gaming, or watch one more episode from Netflix, you are not just losing hours, you are directly degrading your mental fitness for the entire next day, and it compounds. Bad sleep leads to worse focus leads to more distraction, and more distractions leads to more guilt leads to more avoidance, and more avoidance leads to worse sleep. You know the cycle, you've lived it. The fix is simple, not easy but simple. Protect your sleep, set the time, get off your phone, and let your brain do its job. Like, come on man, is it that hard to make a night routine? Okay, now we get to the part that I think matters most. Remember the gym analogy from earlier? I said the discipline is like physical fitness, meditation, and journaling are your exercises. But here's the thing every serious gym person knows. Training is maybe 30% of the result, and the other 70% is what you eat. And you can train perfectly and completely destroy your progress with a bad diet. The food you put into your body determines the raw material your body has to work with. And the exact same principle applies to your brain. What you feed your brain, what you expose it to, what content you consume, what stimulus you give it, that is your mental diet. And right now, most of you are eating junk food for the mind every single day for hours on end. Let me describe a typical morning for a lot of people watching this. Like, you're waking up, within the first 60 seconds, something less, and you reach for your phone, open TikTok or Instagram Reels, and you start scrolling. 3 seconds on one clip, swipe, 2 seconds swipe, something catches your eye for 5 seconds, swipe, and on and so on. And your brain, which just woke up, which is in its most impressionable state of the entire day, which is primed to absorb whatever you give it first, gets absolutely flooded. Rapid fire dopamine hits, constant novelty, and zero depth, zero sustained attention required. And then you wonder why an hour later you sit down to do something that actually matters, study, work, or create. In your brain feels like static, like you can't lock onto anything, like every thought slips away before you can finish it. And this is not a coincidence. You have spent the first hour of your day training your brain to process information in 3 seconds bursts, and now you're asking it to focus for 30 minutes straight. It doesn't know how anyone. You just fed it the mental equivalent of pure sugar, and now you're asking it to run a marathon. I was exactly like this a year ago, maybe less. Instagram, the comment section, getting annoyed at something someone said, staying to argue, burning another 20 minutes on absolute nothing, and hours, and then wondering why I felt foggy. I could not focus, why everything felt harder than it should. And then I made the changes, deleted them, not reduce them, just delete it, because for me reducing wasn't real. The app was there and I would always find a reason to open it. Like I restricted Instagram to messages, not reels, not explore, only messages, because I stop opening any short form content in the morning, especially in the morning. Not negotiable, because man, you should also protect that. You should also protect your mornings. And the difference within 2 weeks was something I didn't expect to feel so quickly. That fog started clearing, and the ability to sit with something for longer than 5 minutes started coming back. The static in my head got quieter because I changed what I was feeding my brain. Now here's the practical framework. Like, you have two options. Choose one or both of them. One, stop opening the apps, especially in the morning, especially short form ones. If you absolutely need Instagram, try your best to use it for messages only. If you have Twitter and you're spending time in the comments getting worked up over things that don't affect your life, then you better delete it. Every one of those moments is a withdrawal from your mental fitness account. And now the second option is, if you're going to consume content, then make it long form. A podcast, a long documentary, a full YouTube video from someone who actually has something to say. Something that requires sustained attention, because consuming that kind of content actually trains your attention slightly rather than destroying it. Right. The short form content is the worst because of the speed. 3 seconds swipe, 2, maybe even less. Your brain learns that this is how information works, that nothing deserves more than a few seconds of attention before something better comes along. And that wiring bleeds into everything else you try to do. Think about what you're actually training when you build discipline. Strip it all the way back and ask, what is the fundamental skill? It's attention. That's it. Your ability to place your attention on the thing that matters and keep it there, despite the discomfort and the distractions. Despite the part of your brain that wants something easier, faster, and more stimulating. Attention is the whole game, and everything I've talked about in this video, meditation, journaling, sleep, all of these is in the surface of one thing: protecting and training your ability to direct your attention. And there is a quote I keep coming back to. Jeff Keller said it, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the most important thing is to keep your window of mind clean, keep it clear, because the moment it's covered in noise and dirt and distraction from every direction, you can't see through it, you can't think straight, you can't move toward anything because you can't even see where you're going. And that is exactly what happens when you feed your brain garbage every day. The moment you wake up, it gets darker and you wonder why everything feels so hard. So let me bring this all together. Discipline is mental fitness. It is built, not found, not inherited, not stumbled upon. Built deliberately every day. And the exercises, meditation, 5 to 50 minutes a day, sit, focus on a point, breathe when your mind wanders, and it will bring it back, and that return is the rep. Do it every day and your attention strengthens. It transfers to everything else in your life. Second, deep journaling. When something is heavy on your mind, when a thought is running in the background, stealing your focus, write it out. All of it, until it moves from RAM to hard drive. Easy to understand. Until you're breath again and get back to work. The third one, sleep and protect it. In bed by 10 and 30 minutes. If you need to be up at 8 a.m. Non-negotiable. Your brain recovers, restores the dopamine, consolidates everything you've worked on. Sacrifice sleep and you sacrifice your mental performance for the entire next day. Your mental diet. This is the 70%. This is the thing that either makes the training count or wipes it out completely. Stop feeding your brain junk in the morning, or stop opening TikTok before you've done a single thing that matters. Be intentional about what you expose yourself to, because your brain is shaped by what you give, whether you're paying attention to that process or not. And underneath all of it, the fundamental thing you are building is your ability to control attention, and that's the whole game. That's what discipline actually is. Not some mystical trait that certain people have and others don't. Just the trained ability to put your attention where you chose and keep it there. You can build that, anyone can build that, but you have to actually build it, not just watch videos about it. And I'll leave you with this. Remember, your mind is either trained or it isn't. It's either clean or it's full of noise. It's either something you control or something that controls you. And every single day, with every choice you make about how you spend your attention, you are casting a vote for one version or the other. So start voting differently. So yeah, I hope I could make your life at least 1% better. And see you on the next time.